Hey 59 gamers, it's your boy Cal Life here, bring you a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video. And today at 59, I decided I wanted to go ahead and show off what the best deck is in Master Duel as of right now. As you guys know, a new update did go through, and the new pack that they dropped was the Sorcerer pack. This pack is actually crazy as it's changed up the meta so much to where you're barely seeing Drytrons due to the ban list, but also due to this pack list. So the deck that we are going to be playing today and reviewing is the Sorcerer Deck. I'm also going to be showing you certain combos on what you can do and how you can go ahead and get the best of the other duelists at hand. As of right now, with my deck, I am playing one copy of Effect Veiler, one Despot 001, 3 Tenyi Adharas, 3 Maxis, 3 Ash Blossoms, 2 Token Collectors, 3 Sorcerer of Moyes, 2 Sorcerer of Taya, 2 Incredible Ecclesias, 3 Sorcerer Longyuns, 2 Vishudas, and 3 Ashuna. And then we are also playing a Nibiru, and the best card in the deck, in my opinions, Protos. Now for our spells, we are playing 3 Pot of Desires, 2 Vessels for the Dragon Cycle, 3 Sorcerer Emergence, 2 Call by the Grave, 2 Crossout Designators, and then finally 1 Sorcerer Blackout. Now for our extra deck, we are playing 1 Herald of Arc Light, 1 Yazi Evil the Yangzing, 2 Boxias, 1 Draco Berserker of Tenyi, 2 Sorcerer Grandmasters Chaizaos, 1 Chaofeng Phantom, 1 Baron de Fleur, 1 Sorcerer Supreme Sovereign Chaying, 2 Monk of Tenyis, 1 Chrysson Hauk, 1 Shaman of the Tenyi, and finally the Mecha Phantom Beast Aurododon. Now, what does this deck do exactly? Well, this deck is basically a 1-card combo deck for the most part. Basically, if you have a Sorcerer Moyi in your hand and you go ahead and summon it, and while you have a War Monster, you can go ahead and basically use the summon of him to reveal 1 War Monster in your hand, and then you can go ahead and summon out a token, and then from there you can go into your Chaizao, which is going to allow you to search a card out of your deck. Plus with Moyi's ability, you can also go ahead and draw a card, so which is going to lead up to more combos, because once you have another card, you're most likely going to search out the Longyun, which is going to allow you to discard 1 War Monster or Sorcerer monster from your hand or card, like magic or spell card, as long as they list Sorcerer or Worm in it. Then you can go ahead and also summon out another token to either summon out a Baron de Fleur, or you can summon out the Changing, which is going to be great. Both are great options. Now, what the Protos is in the deck for is Protos is allowed to go ahead and help you lock down your opponent's deck by basically choosing an attribute that is already on the field. It destroys the card completely, and then it locks the opponent out from being able to use that attribute of a card. It does the same for you, but it's mostly going to lock them out because you had no intentions of playing that card anyways. Plus, Protos is unaffected by any destruction of card effects, so he cannot be destroyed by DPE. So let's say DPE activates his effect, you could go ahead and activate Protos effect. It's going to go ahead and select Dark Attribute, destroy it. The opponent's DPE will never come back. Now, I do play a copy of Nibiru because Nibiru can be good for 2 things. One is really good for going ahead and just wiping out the whole field if your opponent does summon 5 or more times, whether it's a normal summon or a special summon during the main phase. The second thing that is really good for is Crossout Designator. If you have a Crossout Designator in your hand and you're doing all the summoning and someone decides to go ahead and try to Nibiru you, you can actually go ahead and get rid of your Nibiru from your deck by banishing it with the Crossout and negating its effect completely, which is going to be huge. So you're going to notice that Crossout is very big in this deck. Another thing that's really good in this deck is Token Collector. This is going to be great for mirror matches, as Token Collector, if this card is in your hand or in the graveyard by the time a token is summoned, what it's going to do is destroy as many tokens on the field as possible, and then if you do, this card gains 400 for each token destroyed, and it special summons itself. as long as it's in your hand or is in the graveyard during the time a token was summoned. So that's going to actually stop your mirror matches, as the Sorcerer variants of Tenyi's is really dependent on summoning his tokens so they can go into the synchro monsters. So anyways guys, this is the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let us know in the comment section below, what is your favorite deck that you are playing on Master Duel right now, and also let us know what rank you are, because right now we are in the diamond rank, and you know what, it is very fun just playing the game. But once again, enjoy. All right, so we are actually going to be going first, and that's really good when it comes to playing the Sorcerer variant with the Tenyi's, because you would like to go ahead and get off your combo first. So as you can see that I try to summon out my Vashuda. We instantly get hit with a Maxi, but we have the Crossout Designator, which we can go ahead and get rid of a Maxi from our own deck, and that way cancel out the effect of their Maxi. From our Tenyi Vashuda, we can go ahead now and go into our Monk Tenyi, and then from there I'm going to summon out our Effect Veiler, which is going to summon out our Christdarn Hulk. From Christdarn, I'm going to be able to summon out our Despot 001. And what this does is it allows us to go into Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon. And then with Auroradon, I could actually summon out a total of 3 tokens. And then we can summon out our Despot from the grave. From there, we can now go into the Yazi Evil Yang. Now, what is cool about Yazi is the fact that, like, when he's destroyed, you can automatically go ahead and summon out a war monster from our deck. And this is going to be really good to go ahead and get our combo started. So what I'm going to do is actually use Mecha Phantom Beast effect to destroy, tribute 1 card on the field and then destroy our own Yazi. So as you can see, I tribute the token, get rid of the Yazi. From there, I'm able to go ahead and summon out the Moyi. Moyi's effect activate, and what Moyi's effect does, if there is another Sorcerer or Worm monster in your hand, you can go ahead and summon out a token. Now this one token right here is going to allow us to immediately go into Sword Soul Chaizao. And so what you want to do, you want to immediately go ahead and activate Chaizao's effect first, and then activate Moyi's. That way you can chain block, and what that is going to do is Chaizao allows you to go ahead and grab any Sword Soul card from your extra deck, right? I mean, from your main deck. And then also what the Moyi second ability does is when it is combined to make a synchro, you could go ahead and draw a card from the deck. So the big effect is Chaizao. So we're able to draw a cross out from our deck because Moyi, and then we are able to get the Long Yong. Now I can summon out Long Yong, which is going to go ahead and now summon out the Sorcerer Supreme Chainlink. We can then end our turn. And do keep in mind, when Long Yong goes into the graveyard, the opponent automatically takes 1200 damage. Now, what does our board consisted of? Our board consists of a nice little combo. Basically, Changing, when he is on the field, he cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect unless I go ahead and banish a card from the graveyard. And then when you do banish a card from the graveyard, what that does is it allows you to go ahead and banish a card from the field and a card from the graveyard on the opponent's side. So which pairs really nice with the Chaizao, because Chaizao's ability is that you're able to go ahead and immediately negate an effect by banishing one worm monster or one Sorcerer, or actually any card in the grave. To be honest, you could banish any card and then that effect will negate it, and then you can also go ahead and activate Changing's ability. But anyways, now it's time for the opponent's turn. And the opponent is immediately going to go ahead and activate Pot of Desires. Now I had the ability to go ahead and stop that, but I was worried that the opponent was probably playing a mirror match deck, so I wanted to stop something that was more important. So what happens is we actually get Kaijud, which does suck, and he's going to be now playing Crusaders. Now what I know about Crusaders is a lot since I've been playing them lately. Crusadia monsters wants to be in front of your monsters, which is why he put them right here, and he put his monster right here. So what I decided to do is use the Chaizao's effect to go ahead and negate Magius effect, because Magius will allow him to go ahead and grab a monster from his deck that is a Crusadia, which will set him up for a lethal play. So by literally negating that, he's now forced to go into a Regulix. Regulix effect is going to activate when a monster is special summoned to a link zone right here. He can now go ahead and grab his field spelled Revival, and Revival is going to allow him to attack every monster on the field. Plus, with the ability of Maximus, he's going to be able to inflict double damage. So luckily we do have a Nibiru in our hand, so I decided to go ahead and Nibiru. Nibiru is going to wipe the whole field, and unfortunately it does give him a monster with a token with 3600 defense, so we are not strong enough to take it on. And so it is our turn. We do draw into a Moyi. I decided to just risk it and keep the Moyi in hand, just in case. He does have a monster. If he was to summon out any monster, it would have been bad. But I decided to go ahead now. Let's cross out the designator. The cross out designator, the Pot of Desires. And what that does is, once again, I can toss a card from my deck that is the same with a card to negate that. So he's only left with 2 cards in his hands. I knew that he probably had a dead draw if he was activating that, so it was good to know. So now is our turn. So we do have to go against a 10k monster, but we do grab ourselves a Sorcerer Moyi and a Taya. Now I activate Taya's ability, and with Moyi's ability, what I'm going to do is once again synchro summon into Chaizao. Now that I know he is playing a Crusadia deck, I decided to put my my synchro monster in a link zone right here. That way he can't move me with one of his Crusadia monsters. Then once again I activate Chaizao's ability first, and then Moyi's ability, which is going to allow me to grab a Ashuna, and we're able to go ahead and grab a Long Yuan. Activate Long Yuan's effect. I summon out a token, and then I'm going to activate Ashuna's effect, which is going to allow me to bring out a Tenyi. And then with that, what I do is I get rid of our Vashuda. Vashuda is going to allow us, if there is a normal monster on the field, like no effect, we can then bounce back any card on the field, on the opponent's field, by banishing Vashuda from the graveyard. After that, I decide it's time to go ahead and synchro summon into Chaofeng. That way I could get our Tenyi into the graveyard. And what he is going to do to Adhera is I can now go ahead and banish it and bring back a card to my hand that is banished. So what I'm going to do is actually bring back the Sorcerer Changing, and it's going to now go back to our extra deck, which is going to allow me to go ahead and summon him back onto the field. We can then do another 1200 damage, and we're going to go ahead and attack for game, and he's going to go ahead and scoop. Okay, so once again we are going first, and it looks like we are going to be getting Max Seed, but I'm going to go ahead and actually use cross out designator to go ahead and negate the activation of the Maxi, because you never want to take on a Maxi challenge, guys. Maxi is just super good. Very annoying card. They get free draws for you just having fun with your plays. We immediately go into the Monk of Tenyi. Then we're able to go ahead and summon out our Ashuna. Now, the reason that we didn't summon out Ashuna immediately after summoning out the Vashuda is because we did not have a normal monster on the field, or a non-effect monster on the field. So now that we do have a non-effect, which is our Monk of Tenyi, we can now go into a play to where we can summon out the Shaman of Tenyi. Now with Shaman, I'm going to get rid of our Maxi and summon out the Monk of Tenyi. We do get hit with a Nibiru, which does suck, but it's not the end of the world. I activate Ashuna's ability from our grave, since we have a normal monster being the token, to summon out another Ashura Adhara, and then I summon out our Protos. Now Protos is super good in this deck because what it does, you can banish 3 cards of different attributes. So as you can see, fire, earth, and then light. And then what you can do, it comes onto the field and you can stop your opponent from basically summoning any monster attribute that you go ahead and destroy with its ability. So for instance, he had a light Nibiru monster on the field. I decided to activate light, which is going to go ahead and destroy his light monster. And if we had a light monster on our field, it would destroy ours too. But now on his turn, until the end of his turn, he cannot summon any light monsters. So keep that in mind, which is going to be very huge. Now it looks like he is playing some Tri-Brigade, so he goes into Naval, which then summons out a Salamander of the Great. Then he goes and gets his second Tri-Brigade, which is Karas. He decides to toss one of his Zodiacs into the graveyard, and then he is going to now go into another Tri-Brigade Link to summon out the Verte Anaconda. And I already know where he's going with this. His Verte Anaconda is now going to get rid of his Fusion Destiny, which allows him to toss 2 Destiny Hero monsters into the graveyard to summon out a Dark Phoenix Enforcer. He's going to attack into our Tenyi, and that he's going to go ahead and end his turn. Now, his monster is not strong enough to go ahead and wipe us, and his effect is really good because he could just go ahead and basically activate it, destroy himself or any card on the field to destroy one of my cards. Now, what's good about Protoss is Protoss cannot be destroyed by card effects, so DPE is pretty useless against him. Anyways, we do tech into a Called by the Grave. I decided to activate Protoss ability, which is going to have him pop his own ability. He's going to destroy his own Protoss, which is going to then try to select us. But keep in mind, guys, once he goes to the graveyard, right, he can summon himself back next turn, next standby phase. But because of Protoss and me selecting Dark attribute, he literally is locked out of his DPE. So his DPE is in the graveyard forever. He then uses on his turn to summon out a Ash Blossom using the Destiny Hero Dasher. Not really sure why he did that. Didn't really make sense to me. But anyways, I am going to go and summon out a Soul of Taya. Taya is going to go ahead and be able to use his effect, but first he's going to maxi us, and from him maxing us, I'm going to actually use Call by the Grave to get rid of that. So that effect is negated. Then I get rid of our Monk of Tenyi to summon out a token. Now with a token on our field, I can activate Adhara's ability to bring the Ashuna to our hand, then activate a Vashuda to toss him back to the hand. And the reason I did this was I wanted to activate this effect, get him to waste it on the Ash Blossom, using his Ash Blossom just in case he had a second one in his hand. And then now I can immediately go into our Chaizao. From Chaizao, I can go ahead and activate its effect and activate Taya's effect. Taya allows me to go ahead and send a card from our deck to the grave that is either a war monster or a Sorcerer. And then I can use Chaizao's effect to go ahead and grab a Sorcerer card from our deck. I then decide to go ahead and use Sorcerer Emergence, and I'm able to go ahead and attack, which is going to bring him down to about 700 life points. And now he's in a very tough spot. He can't activate he can't summon any dark monster, and Tri-Brigade's biggest thing is like they're able to banish with their Ominous Omen. So he can't summon that. Even if he was to get that link off, it just wouldn't be possible. We decide to go ahead and select dark again. Then I summon out Taya and they scoop. So as you can see, once again, super consistent. Okay, so this is going to be a replay of me going second, and he immediately decides to end turn, which I'm a little curious about. I was thinking he was running Numerons, which would be pretty annoying to go against, but we do have a nice combo hand as we have a Mogi, an Ashuna, a Emergence, and a Blackout. Plus we have a Maxi. So super strong hand. I decided to go ahead and Call by the Grave his Maxi. Then I decided to summon out our Ashuna, activate Ashuna's, activate Moyi's ability. We immediately get hit by the Gamma, which is going to go ahead and negate our effect, and then they summon on the field. And then because I forgot I Called by the Grave just a few seconds ago, I played on Maxi to try to get a free draw off this, but then I forgot. With me Called by the Grave, this is negated completely. So it was a waste of a Maxi on our end. But nonetheless, we still have a very good hand. So with our Moyi destroyed, it's time to go ahead and go into a different combo. I decided to go with the Sorcerer Emergence. We grab ourselves a Taya. From the Taya, I'm going to go into Tenyi, and then I'm going to activate Ashuna's ability to go ahead and bring out a Vashuda onto the field. I'm going to attack. Even if I didn't attack these, they would have just got banished. But you know, it's the small things. So anyways, it is his turn. He is going to go ahead and just end. So I'm guessing he's super bricking. Honestly, that's bad for him, but great for me. So I use a Sorcerer Emergence. We immediately get hit with Ash Blossom, which is going to stop us from being able to grab one of our Sorcerer monsters from the deck. But it's fine because I can still use Taya's ability, get rid of our Sorcerer Emergence, summon out a token. From the token, we're going to go into Draco, the Berserker. Then we're going to use Taya's ability to toss out Adhar. Adhar's ability is going to activate. I'm going to bring a Ashuna back into my hand, and I'm just going to go ahead and attack. Now, the reason I brought out Draco was because of the fact that when he activates a card, I can immediately just go ahead and banish that monster if they activate a monster effect. So with that setup, they decided to go ahead and scoop. If they did get two monsters onto the field, what I could have done is also use a Sorcerer Blackout, which is why I select a basically a Worm monster on our field, which is going to go ahead and destroy one of our Worm monsters. But then we can go ahead and destroy two cards onto their field, as long as they have two cards. So anyways, guys, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really appreciate everyone for being here. And if you want to see more content on 5-9 Gaming, please let us know what type of decks you would like to see, as this is one of the best decks in Master Duel as of right now. So yeah, Cal Life is signing out. Enjoy. See ya.